calling.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, groupies.
Hey, y'all.
Long time no see. Well, actually, yeah, long time no see because you guys are not seeing us currently. So, my name is Amani Cayo, and I'm going to be your host for today. Today we're just gonna go with kind of debatable statements involving conspiracies because I feel like that's like a trending topic for sure. I feel like one of the questions that is a very trending topic right now is regarding the earth. So what I wanted to ask you guys was, in your opinion, what do you think the answer to this question is? Do you think that the earth is round and flat? And which one you pick, give me an explanation on why you think that.
Oh, I can't wait to hear these answers. For one, I love conspiracy theories. I can't always subscribe to all of them because they will send me down a rabbit hole that I won't be able to find my way out of. So, I exit that conversation quickly from time to time. But in regards to the earth being round or flat, my answer, like when we start getting into these debates, is always, child, I don't know. I ain't in NASA. I ain't never been to space. All the pictures show me that it's round. So therefore, I'm going to have to believe that the earth is round due to gravity and the fact that gravitational pull actually makes sense. And if you counteract the weight of gravity versus the weight of everything on earth, that's why nothing is floating around. But to be honest, it could be either or. So NASA, if you want to make me an honorary astronaut, holla.
Girl, they don't even be going to the moon. That's another question. They be lying. I feel like that's a whole lie when they be doing that. Ain't nobody go to the moon yet. But okay, I want to hear everybody else.
I don't know if I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, and I really just pick and choose my battles. I already have enough spiritual warfare to worry about. So conspiracies about the earth, maybe I just live here. Floating rock.
Literally.
That's all I got.
Literally.
Floating rock. Okay, that's really it. I mean, which is definitely the science brain here on that topic, but yeah, I don't think I have anything of value to add to this portion of the conversation besides I just live here.
But what do you think? Like, do you think it's round or flat?
I really just live here.
In other words, she doesn't think.
I don't
just
think, like,
is.
I'm just here. I mean, I guess I'll just say my assumption is that it's round because I guess, that's what's perpetuated. And because I'm not thinking extra hard about it, I'm just go with what your textbook. You know what I mean? Like, if I have to give an answer, I'll just go based off of that because I don't think otherwise.
Okay, how about you, D?
It's flat. There's nothing else to it. Yeah, like, it's not round at all. Globes are used as a educational thing, so it just gives you a three-dimensional view of what it can look like, but globes aren't real. Like, even on globes, like if you go to like Home Goods, they sell globes and things. On the bottom of it always says for educational purposes only. Like, it's not saying that that's what it looks like. It's just like an idea to help people understand more. I know I've been like flat earther, and I put that in quotation marks because I think that's so weird that that's what some people are defined as, but I've been on this wave for years. Like, me and my brother, like one of my brother's best friends, we've been talking on the conspiracy side for a long time, which again, it is a lot of mental stuff to be getting dragged into all the different conspiracies. It's a lot, and it's very overwhelming, and it's very confusing because it's like, well, what do I actually believe now? Like, is this actually real? Because all these other facts are telling us one thing, but what you're taught growing up is something else. So it makes you really spiral to be like, nothing is real anymore and all that. So I had to really take a few steps back from it because I definitely was starting to like freak myself out. But I will say I know some people believe that it's like, so for me, when I say flat, I don't mean like flat, like just like a sheet of paper flat. Like it's like flat as in like it's not round shaped. Like Earth isn't round shaped. Like it might have, a dome, they say, which is also considered the firmament, which is talked about in the Bible. So there's a lot of different resources that are utilized that will tell you that it's a flat Earth. And then obviously the way that we're taught and what we see in school shows you otherwise. So it does lead people to have a mind that's really confused. But also, again, we don't know nothing. We don't go anywhere. I don't physically see anything specifically. So it is what it is. But it definitely is flat for sure. Someone's not going to tell me it's not.
It is what it is, but it's definitely flat.
Like,
that is hilarious.
It's definitely flat, though. Like,
it's the doubling down. Mm-hmm.
No, I definitely feel you, because trying to, like, especially on TikTok, it's like once you like go into that conspiracy theory, like the videos, I feel like it's just like what Winter said, it's definitely a deep dive. Like you would just keep like, it's a never ending thing. Like you would just keep going. And even if you get out of it, by the time you're 5-6 scrolls in, it's still more conspiracy theories, just because you were really clicking on them videos, and it's never going to go away now. But now it really got you thinking, because it's the same. I just don't understand.
So then, because it seems like this is a very passionate discussion for some people. I don't really have much skin in the game here. But my question is, so then do y'all believe in Pangea? And for those that don't know what Pangea is, the continental drift, all of those good things.
I mean,
mm-hmm.
because the Earth is flat doesn't mean that Pangea wouldn't be real. So, do you only connect that to a round Earth?
No, I'm just asking in general.
But there's proof that
there's land
there's
masses
tectonic
that were
shifts.
apart.
But there's proof that there's tectonic shifts. Like there's proof that the continents are still the continents are actually still moving.
In my head, it makes more sense that Pangea is real if the Earth's flat compared to round. And I say flat, basically the way that people that view the Earth as flat describe it is, we have like a on-ground pool, and you have the pool walls, you have all the water. If we put rocks that can float, pretending, in the middle of the water, and the rocks are floating, obviously rocks don't float, but I'm just saying, that would be the land of Earth. And then all the water around it is considered the ocean. And then the walls, the pool walls, would be considered the Antarctic wall. So that's basically how people that believe in flat Earths would describe what they mean. So Pangea makes sense in that case, because if all the land is floating basically over water, it's going to still move around and float and do what it needs to, whatever the case is, and knock into each other and do all that stuff. So I do think that it's still possible to be valid.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really know much about Pangea, or really like gotten any information regarding that when it comes down to conspiracy theories, but everything that Dee said, I completely agree. How about you, Winter?
Winter is crazy.
I knew that was coming.
That just brought me back to when I was like in elementary school, and I used to tell people it's winter, not winter.
It was a glitch in the mic. It was a glitch in the mic.
It was a glitch in the mic. Copy. I don't know if I necessarily like 100% believe in Pangea. I think it's a possibility. I think it's really cool that it could have been real. But I do know that the Earth is made up of tectonic plates, at least for as much as I've been educated, right? And there have been tectonic shifts and tectonic movements in the Earth's crust. And that happens every time we have an earthquake. Now, are they seismic in the sense of like we can tell that Asia has moved closer to America? No. But you can, just by the simple fact of measuring the size of the earthquake. Now, science says the last tectonic shift was between 2 and 4 billion years ago. I don't even think humans was around then, so we might have to ask the dinosaurs or whatever, but it'd be cool if it was a real thing.
No, seriously, it makes me wish that I was back then in there and involved in the history of what's been going on, and feel like I wish I knew all the facts so I could just tell everybody. And
Not so I could tell everybody. I think it would have been off. I think,
yeah, for sure.
I think the whole, like, people who live for a long time, they learn to gatekeep stuff. Even the ones who we know been around for like 120. I'm just saying. Billion?
It's fine.
Girl.
Yeah. Out of here.
Everybody would have been hunting you down.
No, I swear though. I swear. Like, it's crazy because it's like, even with like, for example, like all these like mystery, like, deaths and stuff like that. Like, I feel like from what I see on TikTok is like, when people like get too close of finding out the actual truth, then they just disappear or something happened to them. So honestly, that's just very scary, especially being in a position to know exclusive information like that and to know that your life is at risk just because you know information. So stuff like that is very, very scary. Another thing that I wanted to touch base on is I watched this other video on TikTok, and it was NLE Choppa, and it was a reporter, I guess, asking him questions regarding space and stuff like that. And he believes that space is not like it's not real from what they tell us. He believes that they told us that there's no that there's no air in space, but the viral clip of the moon landing clip, the flag that they put down, it was blowing, like the flag was blowing. And I was like, oh, you're right. It was blowing. I do remember that clip because it was played in school. And then he was saying how he believes that above us is water, just like how it is below us, as below is above. So what do you guys like think about that?
Not he quoting the Bible.
Right.
Does he have the context?
A lot of the flat earthers are quoting the Bible and taking things from the Bible and saying, well, if this is in the Bible and this is what they're teaching us at school, something doesn't make sense here.
Where's the scriptural context? Because I've seen so many times where people will pull something out the Bible and not have the full context of the scripture, of the book, of the chapter, like what was actually happening when that was said, who said it. Like, there's some people in the Bible who you can't take everything they say at face value. There's a lot of them, actually, where you can't take everything they say at face value. And I'm not saying that for that particular scripture, because that's a very well-known scripture. But just in general, like, a lot of that is taken out of context. But to reel it back to NLE Choppa's point of space being kind of like a figment of the government's imagination, or them telling us what they want us to believe, I don't think that's 100% untrue. Again, I ain't never been to space. I really don't know. So it could be anything out there. Like, it really could be, space could be the ocean for real. Like, the aliens could be in the ocean, as the U.S. government said back in August of 2024. The aliens is in the ocean.
Yeah, I agree with that, because even back then when I was watching videos of, you know how like when they were like would be in like the spaceship and they would like show clips of how it is being, you know, like in space or on the moon or whatever the case may be, they would, you know, be floating or doing whatever, and it was like certain things where it was like glitch. Like there was like so many glitches in like those type of videos, like where it was like, is this a green screen? Because like what's going on? Like stuff that wouldn't usually happen was happening in these certain clips, like of when it comes down to like glitches in the videos or whatever the case may be, when they would try to show people like, oh, how it is being in the spaceship and stuff like that. So I completely agree. I personally think that it's just all a lie when it comes down to that. And it brings me back to, I don't know if you guys have watched this show. If you guys haven't, I think you guys need to watch this show, because it makes me feel like that literally how the government is in that show is literally what's happening in real time. And the show is called Paradise. Have you guys watched it?
I just started watching it.
not.
Episode 3. So far, it is phenomenal, but don't say nothing else because obviously I'm only on episode 3.
I'm crying.
No.
But all I will say is that the end of episode 1 had my jaw on the floor. Like and this is not me giving anything away because this is literally the trailer. When he kept looking up to the sun, I was like, what's up there? Like, what's happening? Then in episode 1, I said, oh, you know what? I can believe it.
Exactly. Exactly. No, seriously. And then it makes me also question, oh, is time even real? I feel like time isn't even real. It's an illusion.
I mean, well, time is a man-made,
especially with this whole daylight saving and what Trump was saying in his little speech, talking about, oh, they need to cancel daylight saving. Like,
the Lord operates in infinite time, so I'm on Lord's time, so I ain't got nothing to do with what Trump got to say about nothing.
No, because what he said was so crazy. Like, so crazy. I don't know word for word. I can't remember word for word on what he said.
He said they lost an hour with Granny.
Like, what? Out of all the things you could have said, you said that. Like, I don't even think he'd be thinking or try to practice his speeches before he even go out there. It's more so a wing it. Like, what are you even saying?
He's trying to go viral every time, so it's really just for clicks.
It works. It works for him. It's a great strategy. Yeah. He's executing it well. Time is definitely a man-made concept and construct. Both of those definitions fit in this term. So time isn't real. Like, it is an illusion if you want to go by definition of what an illusion is, because it's nothing concrete. Like, we know that there's day and we know that there's night. That's really it.
Yeah.
To be honest, we could still be in the year 1987. Who knows?
No, seriously though. I feel like, yeah, I just think that what's real is, and what we would, if we were to find out the truth, we just honestly wouldn't believe it, even if they told us it was the truth.
I don't want to know. We talked about the Bible already. Adam and Eve have taught us the greatest lesson. Okay, baby? I'm not going to seek nothing that wasn't laid out for me to find, or that I ain't getting no inclination to go search for, okay?
But it's just so interesting. Like, I feel like it's so interesting. It's like a mystery. Like, it's like those, it's like when you go on Amazon and buy those mystery games for your couple and you guys are trying to figure out who killed who. It's interesting.
Clue, by far my favorite board game of all time.
Y'all know I love me a good murder mystery. I love me something about a crime. It's really, really bad, actually. But I do that.
Well, sidebar, I definitely want to do one when we get together. You know, next.
Yes. Let's just let that be the theme of our next girls' night.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm planning it. Yeah, that's what we doing.
And then we're gonna go on TikTok live again, so we can get some other people's comments.
No, that would be so fun if we did like a murder mystery night, and everybody had a character that they had to play, and we allowed for the people viewing on TikTok live to try and figure out who it is.
That would be really good.
Oh yeah, we have to do it.
We do. That's a good one. Let's write that down. All right, let's reel it back in. Let's reel it back in. Regarding these conspiracies, do you guys like believe in like mermaids and aliens and stuff like that? Because me personally, I do. I believe in all that stuff.
I feel like that's one of those things. I don't want to say I battle with it because I'm not thinking about it every day. But when I do think about it, it's kind of one of those things I teeter between. because for me, it's like if I believe in the spirit and I believe in demons that roam the earth, that it's like, you know, there has to be other things, you know what I mean, as well, outside of just those two things that I believe in. So I'm not just being, I don't want to say being ignorant to the fact that they may be out there, but it's a possibility. Yeah, I think it's a possibility for sure. I think that there's other things that have been here longer for sure than we have, and that they still here.
Yeah, I agree. And mermaids might be real, but they ain't mermaids. They mer killers.
What's that?
Mer killers?
Mer
Killers. That's what you
killers.
said.
Oh.
Mer killers.
They mer
Okay.
killers.
I
How
thought I
they
heard something.
described it to us and what we think they look like, they look nothing like it. They try to make it
Yeah.
look cute, make it look real demure, but it's definitely not giving
Not
that.
demure.
Yes. It's not giving that. And I just conspiracy, going back on the TikTok conspiracy videos, just, yeah.
When I was younger, at some point in time, I can't remember who said this to me, but I know it was an older man. He told me that everything that you read in a book or everything that you have seen on TV, as unbelievable as it may seem is probably true, because no idea is a unique idea or concept. So, and very much so pulling from Tanaja's point of, if I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and that demons walk this earth, I'd kind of be very naive and ignorant to dismiss that there's anything else in existence outside of the animals that we do know,
Right.
and ourselves, when in fact we have already, like, it's common knowledge that we only have discovered 5% of the ocean. So if we know that they've only been able to study 5% of the ocean, you can't tell me that there's not other stuff out here that has either been here longer than us, is more evolved than us, or is just very different from what we interact with on a day-to-day. But with all that being said, I don't busy myself with those thoughts too much either, because I still got to move in this world, baby. But I am prepared.
Right.
Keep the oil on me, okay?
Can't think too hard.
Not at all.
What do you think, Deke?
I feel like the ocean is massive. There's a lot of stuff we don't know, so I don't see why mermaids and sirens and things like that aren't real. I will say, obviously, it's not going to be, they're not going to look like, the creatures aren't going to look like what we're used to. I mean, our mermaid is Ariel, a Disney princess. Like, you're not going to get that in the ocean, like, at all. You know what I mean? I feel like the idea of a mermaid is not real, but mermaids are real. Them being in the ocean, why not? Sirens being able to hypnotize people into coming into the water and thinking that, yeah, why not? Just like, why wouldn't it be? But it's not something that I'm like thinking like, oh, I'm going to go on a cruise and see a mermaid, or I'm going to go on a cruise and hear a siren. Like, no.
Not
But-
on a cruise.
I actually don't want
Right.
to.
Yeah, like,
stay
I
where you
don't
at.
I don't want to be interacting
Right.
with them at
Stay
all.
where you're at, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Like, please, as deep as you go, stay down there. I don't know. I just
Right.
I won't be. But yeah, I think the most interesting thing about being in this world is the ocean. It's so interesting because we don't ever know what is down below, what's on the other side, if there is another side. We don't know anything, honestly. We just really don't know not one thing. Everything we thought we know, we don't know. And that's crazy, but we don't. Unless you physically are the person to witness it with your own eyes, you don't even know if it's actually real or not. And that's why, for me, I had to stop with, like, deep diving into conspiracies and thinking about it, because it will make your brain wander so much and then feel like things are so, like, fake and not real, or that you were lied to. And it's like, no one has time for that, because, like they both were saying, we still gotta live in this life. Like, me knowing if mermaids are real or not is not going to change whether I got to pay my bill today or tomorrow. So it's not really going to help me.
That
so
part,
I got to just keep pushing. I just got to keep pushing on. Yes, it might creep me out, but I got to keep going. Like, there's really not much I could do. When you go to St. Martin, let me know if you see a little something.
No,
I'll keep you
literally.
posted. I won't be looking for them.
Right, I was gonna say. Mind that business, ma'am. If there's anything that we do well, is mind that business,
Right.
okay?
Promise you.
Literally. Like, I'm not looking for you, so please don't look for me.
Please mind that biz. Thank you.
But it also makes me think, like, you know, like, what are those jobs called where they're supposed to be like exploring the ocean and trying to figure out exactly what's down there? Like, what are those jobs?
There's
like
a lot of different types,
titles?
but the most common is probably marine biologist or a marine scientist. Yeah,
Because I'm like, are you guys finding stuff or what?
They probably are. It's just things they can't release.
Right, but what I'm trying to get at is when they find stuff and they can't release it. Is it because is the plan to release it, or is the plan to never release it and their job is just to figure out what's down there and what? Like, I'm just confused. Like, we need, like, in the generations to come, what are they going to be still talking about the same history that we were talking about when we were in school?
probably they're just gonna remix it as they, tend to do. But you also, something that trips me out is the fact that we will literally be the history in like 40 years. Like, our generation will be in textbooks. Scary thought. Crazy thought.
Definitely a crazy
but
thought.
Genuinely. And also, I want to correct myself. They're called oceanographers. Y'all know I like to fact check. Oceanographers.
My opinion when it comes to history is no, I don't think that they're going to be learning the same history that we learned, because we already have learned portions of history that they have wanted to teach us. Specifically, like, there's a lot of things that we were taught or shown that were one-sided, or, like, for example, like, getting the history of being enslaved and slaves and how everything of that nature went, and segregation, those are all things that we learned one-sided, because and when I think about like that type of history, segregation was horrible towards Black people only because white people thought, I believe they were kind of like pushed to believe that Black people were superior than Black people. So when all reality, if Black people were treated regular, like if everybody was segregated and Black people were treated well, just like anybody else, there probably wouldn't have been a crazy problem with segregation. The problem with segregation was the fact that everything was separated and Black people got treated poorly, not just everything was separated and that's it. Like, that was the issue.
So you're saying if it was segregation and let's say the facilities were equal, like we weren't getting just the run-of-the-mill, like leftover scraps of things, but we were getting the same quality of them, and it was only for us and only for them.
Yeah, if it was actually segregated and actually equally segregated, there would be no issue. But they have to, like, that's a part of to me, that's a part of how the government, the uppers, have brainwashed anybody into moving how they want. That's how you're able to push people out of their homes, and that's how, like, gentrification happened, like, literally with brainwashing and controlling and all of that nature. Like, obviously it's so much bigger than that, but like, if you think about it, having things segregated is not that bad. being segregated, getting the less of, and being poorly treated as if you're below someone else is horrible. And that's the part of segregation that was realistically the problem.
No, I definitely feel you on that. Like, yeah, have things be separated, but don't make it seem like we're not all equal, because at the end of the day, we are all equal. So, yeah, I definitely get exactly where you're coming from when it comes down to that. But yeah, so going down these conspiracy theories honestly it's like interesting, very interesting to know facts that you didn't know before, but then it's also a headache because your head and your mind will be spiraling. But me, I just like stuff like that. I don't know about you guys, but I like it.
I think it's fun in little doses.
Yeah, like,
Then when I feel like somebody might be pushing the needle in a little too hard, I'm like, it's not fun no more.
like, all right, not too much.
Calm down. Because at the end of the day, the day gotta end, baby.
I swear, yo,
and as Diddy said, I have bills to pay tomorrow. So.
No, seriously. I don't even want to talk about that, honestly. Let's just forget that we even said anything about bills, please. Another thing that I wanted to touch base on is reincarnation. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys believe in it? Do you guys not believe in it? How do you think, if you guys do believe in it, how do you think reincarnation goes, and just how it just plays out, or how you think it plays out in your opinion? In my opinion, I would just speak first on it. I just feel like that we do have young souls and we have old souls, and I feel like that, yeah, we might end up leaving this earth, but we end up coming back to this earth something else, in my opinion. But that's just what I think on how reincarnation goes, as well as with other people. And I be seeing videos on younger children just knowing stuff that they shouldn't know about. So that also just makes me go into a conspiracy theory on, wow, this younger child has an older soul living in him, basically, because there's stuff that he shouldn't even know about or wasn't even taught. So that's just what I think.
Okay, so this is the part of my brain that always battles. Okay, so if I'm separating my belief of biblical concept, I'm just going to take that out of the picture for the purpose of answering the question. If I didn't have that part of my brain, I feel like I would believe in reincarnation for sure. Of course you come back and you're just something else, or, living in a different form than you were before. I feel like I've just more so look at it as a cool concept more than anything. The fact that what if that was real, for me to pass away and then to come back and I'm a tree. Wow, what a different life.
A tree is crazy. Out of all things. Actually, that's not a bad idea.
They live
just
a long
so long
time,
as I could
you
pick
see a
where
lot.
I'm at. I need to pick where I'm at. You feel me?
So many people be just cutting down the tree. If I'm gonna see a tree,
that's why I said I need to be in a meadow and protected forest land.
Exactly. And I want to be a tree that's in the movie of Avatar. I need to be a light up tree. I need to be a tree of life,
ma'am.
Healing, a cure. I need to have a superpower if I'm a tree. I can't just be no regular tree.
Not superpower.
Yeah.
Touch me and you'll be healed. Okay, great.
Lay in my leaves. Okay?
Exactly.
I really wanted to know, Chanasia, what exactly, going back to your actual beliefs on the topic, what is your opinion when it comes down to your beliefs?
Well, I guess there's some type of really there's technically some type of contradiction when you think about the concept of the resurrection and the judgment and all of that. It contradicts with the idea that you will pass away and then be reincarnated into something else. There's just no, biblical stance on that. So if me as a believer, I'm saying that I believe the words of the Bible and think that those things will come to pass, it kind of contradicts what is said to happen when you do pass away, and waiting for the day of judgment, and then you will be called up. So that's really what I'm saying about that.
Yeah, that's 100% where my response was going to come from in general, not even putting that to the side, because there are two very distinct, different interpretations on what happens to us when we die in the Christian community as well. It's either you die and your soul is immediately called up for judgment, or we die and then there's nothing until judgment day when we are all called up, right? So it's like, what happens in that in between? And that's why I'm of the thought process of, again, I think that's a very beautiful concept.
Right.
And not for nothing, if I'm going with the second school of thinking, what's happening in that limbo, then maybe it is a possibility that not all souls are recycled, but some souls are recycled because nothing is happening with it anyway until we're being called up for judgment. But again, cool concept. I know I'd be pissed if I was reincarnated.
She'll
And
be
it
like,
wasn't
why am I
better?
back here? Why am I
Are
back
you
here again?
kidding me? And it wasn't better. Like, especially because I've been one who's been told that I was an old soul since I was a child. And even like when I was younger, I was a kid who much rather have sat with my great uncles or my grandmother and ask her questions about how she thinks about things. And I mean, like, from like 7 years old to in high school, like, I'd rather be in the house with the elders, asking them their thoughts on life, on current events, on things that happened when they were younger, and just live through that lens and that perspective, as opposed to the current day, which I didn't always feel very connected to. So if that's the school of thinking, then, I mean, maybe, possibly. But again, I'd be pissed if I realized that I was reincarnated and I had to go through this again.
Honestly, I feel like I feel like I'm still, getting into the Bible and, what is being said in there. So I'm still trying to get that understanding on how everyone's perspective, for people that haven't read the Bible. It's never too late to read the Bible. I've just started a few weeks ago, so I'm still in that process of still understanding. People might just be looking at these conspiracies and not even thinking about what is being said in the Bible, or probably don't even go to church, and like, everyone just has different perspectives. But I'm the person that I want to know, like, everyone's perspective, because I feel like I like to always keep an open mind when it comes down to how I think about certain things. So I feel like I'm still, I'm just still in the process of reading the Bible and what's being, said, and definitely getting a better understanding on why people's perspectives is the way that it is. So,
and even with reading the Bible, there's so many versions, so many translations. So it's important to, even with reading the Bible, to be open-minded and read various amounts of sources to kind of, develop a true understanding of what the word actually means. And again, all respect to, whatever people's beliefs are. You do you, I'm doing me. That's just what it is. But since somebody had asked, I shared. But there's definitely a lot of translations and interpretations, and a lot of theologists and theologians and all of those things. They have, put together ideologies that you can read through and, compare to what the word says and develop, some sort of understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another important point, to not bring this all there, but another important point is that there are the foundations of Christianity and the gospel, and what the church is supposed to believe in, how you're supposed to behave, how you're supposed to interact with the world around you, and what your sole mission is, right? But then there's all these other pieces of information that don't necessarily align with the foundation as a whole, but they're tidbits that but you should be taking and applying to your own life. And I think that's where all the different interpretations and digestions of the word come into play for those aspects. But there are some very concrete things that Christians are supposed to be subscribing and following to, but all the other stuff, I don't think there's one particular right way to interpret one particular portion of the text.
Now, when you say that there's different like versions of the Bible, are you saying it as if there's different ways that people are explaining how the Bible is read, or are you saying like it's written completely differently?
So, for instance, you have the King James Version, then you have New Living Translation, ESV, there's a bunch of different ones. And a lot of times it's the same message written in a different way, if that makes sense. That's probably the most simplest way I can explain it. So you may read King James and you have a lot of thee, thy, sound like fee, fo, fum, that's for
like Shakespearean text.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like that. And then you have New Living Translation, a little bit more of a modern translation, kind of breaks down the English a different way for, those. And I think that's a good beginner translation too. Like a New Living Translation or ESV, the English Standard Version is good as well. But it's still the same message. It's just written a different way. But you're still going to get the same stories. And a lot of times you do, let me say this too, in different versions, a lot of times you do get a different understanding than you do in another, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think another thing is that it's kind of the equivalent of having someone from South London with a very posh way of speaking tell you something, and then having your homegirl tell it to you in Ebonics. Like, you just get it more in one way because that's a language or a dialect you're more readily able to digest, as opposed to having somebody say it in a very prim, proper manner that's using words that you don't typically use or you might not have ever heard. But they're telling you the same thing. It's just the delivery is different.
So, Amani, I challenge you, next time you're reading the Bible, go in, if you're using the Bible app, you can click on where it says like King James Version, like KJV, you can click on that and you can change to the Amplified Version, English Standard Version, any of those. So like read your scripture in King James and then switch to a different version, and you'll kind of get a better understanding of what I mean by same words, same message, different words.
So basically, for the people that are not understanding basically like other versions, if you don't understand, then there's another version for you to better understand.
I don't think that was the purpose of it being written, but I guess maybe.
Possibly.
Please just send me the link.
That is funny.
I have the Bible app, so please just send me
I will sure send you the Bible app.
Now I'm curious. We can talk about this later, but what version of the Bible do you have?
Yeah, what are you reading?
Okay. That's scary.
So I have this version that my friend had given to me. So I honestly don't know what
does it say on the front?
It is. Literally, I guess it was meant for him. So it's like, this is literally the front of the Bible. It like has his name on it and everything. But let me see what it looks like when I had it.
Go to the very first, go to Genesis. Go to Genesis and start.
It's the King James. It's the King James.
I knew it.
It's the King James.
It was giving that for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely giving that for sure.
Okay.
That's why I said just go to Genesis. But okay, go ahead.
Let me send you the Bible app right now.
Yeah, please. Because I'm a newbie. I just joined the club, so I didn't really know much about all the versions. So that's really great to know. Just in case there's a sentence.
That's why I said it's scary. No, it's true, that version is definitely.
It's sometimes it's hard to read in between the lines sometimes, or really get an understanding, especially if you're just like kind of skimming through King James. You really got to focus and read in between the lines
with the notebook and the pen and the highlighters,
but sometimes
and a dictionary. All right, I'm done.
Yes. So I'm going to send it to you right now.
That's mad funny because remember that TikTok I sent in the chat when it was like, oh, when a new person is like reading the Bible and they're not understanding certain words that are being said.
Exactly that. Just like that with
that is so me. God forgive me, because sometimes I'm when it comes down to understanding like stuff like that, I just need a better explanation. Just a better explanation for me to really understand.
So
what
I'm also
that
going to send you
stuff
some
really-
websites that give you some theologians that break down the text and give you like real day modern, like, you know, relation to it. I got you. I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna let you continue, but I'm gonna hook you up. I got you.
This
right.
is so
and
fun.
for the people
but
that are listening, if you guys need it, just like me, because I know there's other people out there that might need it. You know, if you want to join a club, all are welcome for sure. Okay.
no, literally,
You
that
better
is
go ahead and
literally
drive the people to
preach
the
the
Lord.
gospel. I know that's right. That is so funny.
I'm crying.
You know,
Reincarnation. Yes. Yes.
So reeling it back to reincarnation. D, I didn't get an answer from you on what your opinion on is with reincarnation.
I do believe in some way souls may be reborn. And I feel like it just really depends on whether they didn't really learn what they needed to learn in the life that they lived, or if they weren't the best people in the life they lived, or whatever it is. I feel like it really just depends on them and their God and what they, you know, have endured within the life that they have. I don't think everyone gets reincarnated at all. I really do think it's a case basis. But yeah, I feel like to me, religion is so interesting, and it's the one area that I've had a part of my life for a long time, but as I've grown older, I've, you know, have began and created my own relationship with God and figuring out my own beliefs and doing my own research and things. So I wouldn't really consider myself religious. Whether I believe in one specific religion, that's not me. I feel like there's truths to all religions realistically when you like each religion has pieces that I feel like make a lot of sense in my brain.
I agree. I feel like I was never the type to be like, yeah, I'm this, or like, yeah, I'm that when it comes down to religion. I don't know about anybody else, but I was definitely a child that would be going to church, and I wasn't really part of the main church part. I was on the side where the other kids were at, you know, playing. So at that time, it was kind of like
children's church. He was in children's church. Yeah.
Exactly. Learning a different version. I don't know what version that was, but yeah. But yeah, I feel like I definitely wouldn't be so strong at it when it comes down to being in a specific religion. I just like what Dee said, I do feel like all religion have pieces of truth when it comes down to what they believe in. So another thing that I wanted to ask you guys was, people do say this is another conspiracy theory that someone had said to me before. They said that before civilization, we used to be able to read each other's minds, like how, I guess, you know, like the animals do. Do you guys think that's true? I feel like if it is true, I wish it was still a thing.
Girl, no. No, ma'am. That's because you're nosy. Sanasia over there nodding real hard. That's because she's nosy.
I need to know.
Like, if it was a thing, like, why is it not a thing anymore? Like, what happened?
I don't know if that was the actual wording used, but if it was, that is not true. Animals do not read each other's minds. They communicate in very different ways, and it's not mind reading. The main way that mammals, if we're talking about mammals, communicate is body language. Also, they still have vocal cues. So I don't know where that information came from, but that is not factual. And I do not believe
I
that
really don't want to read
happened.
anybody else's
And I
mind.
don't-
My
thank
consciousness
you.
is enough. Okay, because me and my girl up here be thinking real hard and going, I don't got time to be thinking about what someone else thinking about because I'm sitting next to them and now I know what they saying about me.
No, I want to be able to read people's intentions. That's what I want. I don't want to be able to read everybody, every
that's
thought.
exactly what I meant. Because now that I think about it, sometimes I be thinking about stuff and I be like, wait, why am I thinking about that? So if people was able to read that, read about stuff that I didn't really need to think about, but it just popped up in my head, oh shoot, why am I thinking about that? Oh my God. Even things that I feel like I'm thinking about that I shouldn't be thinking about, I'd be like, oh my God, I feel like it's a sin. Why am I thinking about that?
That's right. Take those thoughts captive.
Yes.
Oh my God, please. Did you hear that? I'd be like, did you hear that? Because
not did you hear that? Yes, he heard it.
Surely did.
When I tell you, I'd be like, oh my God, why was I thinking about something? Why am I thinking about that? It just really randomly popping up in my head and I don't know why. Sometimes my mind just really be wandering oh, why does this happen? Or why does that happen? Or what if this were to happen? What would be the result? Type stuff. But stuff where it's stuff that I wouldn't even want to think about, but it just appears in my head in that moment. It's an intrusive thought kind of.
I have a few reasons why I want to read people's minds.
Lord.
I sometimes just feel like I need a deeper understanding of things that come out of people's mouths. And so
I feel like,
yes,
You're really still not going to like it.
So I just feel like maybe if I can read their thought process as the ignorance and stupidity is coming out of their mouths, then
you're
maybe
still going to call them stupid. What's the point? Because what if the reason is actually just as dumb as what came out of their mouth?
Then it validates my reason. See, then it validates my feelings.
That's not better.
Not gonna lie, I'm definitely
so then it's I don't feel as bad for feeling like they're just idiots. They actually something wrong. So it validates.
They actually are exactly what I thought.
Oh my gosh. See, no, yes. I want to be able to read the intention. And I mean the intention down to the granular level of you said this, but I know you ain't mean that because you're continuing to argue as if what you said made sense. So what did you actually mean? I want to know that level of intention. Because I don't need to know why the stupid words came out of your mouth. I just need to know what you meant. But
I feel like if you could read their mind, you could see you can see their thought process.
Girl, but okay.
And then it still may make no sense.
Even if the way it came out was real stupid, you would understand what they actually meant to say. You'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you would hear the thought, you would see the thought or read the thought. I don't really know.
Because there's a lot of times where people say things and they don't know what they're saying. Absolutely. And that's no knock to...
Let's say a thought entered my mind, right? And I'm like, oh, I really love cheese. But for some reason, I just can't get the words together. And I say, I don't know, something random that has nothing to do with what I'm trying to say. And then you can read that I was trying to say that I really love cheese, but that's not what came out of my mouth because that's the thought that entered my mind. So you already knew the thought before the nonsense came out of my mouth.
It's like having something on the tip of your tongue, but you can't get it out.
But see, that's not stupidity. What I'm talking about is somebody literally... Oh, Lord. I'm trying to help her, y'all. Amani, you are not making it any better.
I'm not going to lie. I see both parts because there are times where I'm the one on the other side and I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I can read your mind, Amani. I do pretty good.
Yes, we can read.
Deep down that we're really mind readers. I'd be like, what's that word?
But I know you. But that's different. Yeah. That's a lapse in vocabulary. But there are literally people who, in an argument, will say, I'm going to be very random. You never listen when I talk to you. Every time I say something, you're always on your phone and you always talking. And it's but that's literally not true. And then when you ask for context on it, they give you something that literally makes no sense. So what point are you trying to make? That's what I'm talking about. I need to get into your thoughts, your intentions. What are you trying to convey? Because the words that are coming out of your mouth, or okay, better example. Somebody will say, dang, you know how it's really hard to mimic something that you don't do. Like you're trying to emulate somebody, but like that's not how you communicate. So it's really hard for you to emulate them. So imagine we're going to do, visual storytelling here. Imagine you're in a conversation with somebody, right? And they are explaining something to you. And you are reiterating it back to them saying, okay, so what I'm hearing is, but when you say it back to them, they're acting as if you're talking a foreign language. Like, no, that's not what I said. So then you clarify it for them, right? And say, so did you mean blah, blah, blah? And they said, that's what I said. When that's not at all what they said.
Of course. Happens all the time.
That's what I'm talking about. Because you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I need to know what you actually meant.
They're being in denial.
But what if they do have the thought in their mind, they just don't know how to articulate it? Yeah. So it's like the thought is there. That's why I feel like if I could read the mind, I can see that.
I don't.
That the thought is there and you just don't know how to articulate it. Or if you literally just ignorant and stupid and the thought is already
see, that's too much. See, then I still got to see, then it's still a process of elimination. Like, I can see it. Like, are you stupid or can you just not articulate it? I just need to know. I don't want the extra work because at this point, we are already at a loss. So let's just make it easy, make it simple. What did you mean? That's it. That's all I need to know.
But then what if we had controls on it, though? What if we had controls on the mind?
Like what? Okay.
Like she's like, she's basically saying, like, I don't want to know everything that they're reading. Right. I just want to get to the main point.
Yes.
What if we could control it? Like, all right, don't give me a summary. Just go. What is the overall statement? Like, what is that?
Just give me the cliff notes.
Like,
what is it?
Let me just go into settings and just put.
She needs the headline. She just
that's it. I just need the point. What are you trying to say? Tanasia wants to know whether or not she's justified by thinking that you're stupid. That's really what her point is. This is literally, I must air my good sis out. I love you dearly, Bookie, and anybody who knows you knows this already. All day, every day, we will literally be on the phone for hours, not doing nothing. She'll have her own conversations in life going on. I'll have my own conversations in my own life going on. Then I hear her getting pissed off, trying to understand the words that have come out of somebody's mouth. And I literally have to talk her down off the ledge multiple times, telling her that it's not for you to understand. You know, they said what they said. And she's literally like fuming because she really does not like stupidity. That is kind of like the conversation, this back and forth that's going on here.
Like, it's just like, did you think, and that's what I'm saying, that's why I need to know, did they think about this before it came out of their mouth or did it just fly out? Because did it make sense? Like, okay, let me give an example. So I'm doing something for work, right? I send out a form that goes to, this isn't my actual job, but it's something that I participate in on the side. So I'm doing some work for this thing. I send out a form. It goes to the parents, right? It goes to the parents, principals, counselors, and it also goes to like some references. The form, the first option, it says type of reference. You click the box, there's a drop down of options, right? Remember I named principal, counselor, parent, references. Okay. I get an email from a parent who proceeds to say, hi, I'm X, Y, and Z's parent, and I need to know if I'm filling out the form right. Do I just select I'm parent? So are you the parent or no? Because I'm confused. I'm just confused.
So why did you want to?
What
thoughts are you expecting to see in their head?
I don't know. I'm just trying to see where is the confusion. Like, can I see where the confusion was in their brain, where the cords, got crossed, where the wires got crossed? Because why was that even a question? Why did that make sense?
And this is why when I'm at work, I'd be scared to even ask questions.
But come on, bro. If it says type of reference and you click on the box and you just told me that you emailed me and said I'm the parent.
Maybe she ain't know what reference meant.
I select I'm the parent? What?
See, like stuff like that. Like, if there's one word that I don't understand, I'm gonna just Google it.
Or no.
I'm gonna just try to see, like, just give me an example, put it in a sentence, something. I just don't. I swear to God, when I got this job, I was in my interview. The main thing she was saying, how she like they would like have a hard time when it comes down to not just communication, but like just asking questions that should be already answered. And I'm like, okay, that's very noted. So now that I know that you know, not that she gets aggravated or anything, but I took it as, okay, she probably gets aggravated when people ask her, hey, where can I find this piece of information, or where can I find the address to this place? Okay, we have a book that's labeled under addresses for clients. Why didn't you not look in the book before you emailed me this email asking where is the address?
I'm not gonna lie. Ask the same thing.
Understand.
I would ask the question. I side with her. I'm sorry. I do.
I think for me, it's more so I like to double check. I'm a person that always like to double check, triple check. I do not want to make a mistake. Please, okay, so I don't want to assume that I think it's there and ends up not being there. To me,
it would have been double checking if you would have said, hey, I came across this book. It's labeled address for clients. Is this the only place that address for clients exists, or is there somewhere else that I should also check? That would have been double checking rather than, hey, where do I find this address?
Yeah, you've done your part.
Because it's like, so there's a book that says addresses for clients. I would have done the same thing. I'm not going to lie. I'm very much siding with her on this one.
See, I do professional development for a living. Literally for the past 7 years, like 60% of any job that I've held has been professional development. I deal with people who are able to use context clues. I deal with people who are very resourceful, know how to research. And then I deal with those who are very surface level. Like, you practically got to do it for them, because no matter how many times you show them, if they didn't already know it, they just can't learn it. So I think that's where a lot of my patience has come from in that scope. But you can. Never mind. I'm not even going to say that, because you absolutely can. There are moments when I've been asked the same question over and over and over and over again. And I mean, like, to the point where I've literally pinned the tab at the top of your browser. You click open new tab, and now you act like you can't find the tab that's pinned on the top of your browser.
I'm crying.
like it's right there in front of you. It's right there. You don't even need to scroll, nothing. It's pinned.
This is what
right there.
I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. So I just feel like if I could just understand, how did we arrive here? What are the thoughts through your thought? Like, even with the Amani situation. Okay, what was the thought process? Did you have a thought process before you decided to text me about the address book? Or did we just decide, like, hey, I'm just going to ask about the address book?
But I've
learned, was there a thought? Did I look? I don't know.
People have performance anxiety. And that's kind of the point I was trying to get to before, the 4-year-old walked in. But people truly have performance anxiety. And I am, like, overly aware and overly empathetic of people's surface level emotions. So I can see when somebody is having performance anxiety, like, because they're being expected to do it, it's like a blank canvas, because they have to do it, even if it's just as simple as submitting a form. It's a blank canvas. And some people, it's just a blank canvas by default. And I don't really have much for them. But a lot of people do have performance anxiety. And I think that being able to read that and have compassion for that, for me, because a lot of my peers do not have compassion for that. And I love them, because we don't have time to be playing. It's pinned at the top of your screen. Please remember that's pinned at the top of your screen. But
please remember.
That's where that comes from. And I think in Amani's situation, like, if that scenario was actually about you, it could have been performance anxiety, because I know for a fact that Amani does have performance anxiety.
No, wait. First of all, it was
you
not
do.
about me. I just want to clarify that.
No, I'm kidding.
It was not about me. She just gave me an example during my interview, and I just jotted it down. I noted it because now I know how to go about certain things. I'm going to try to figure out the answer myself before I do that. But one thing I will say, if I do not ask you, and if you tell me, or whatever the case may be, there's a book for addresses, and I send the client to that address, and they come to find out it's the wrong address, don't be mad at me. and it's not my fault because you told me to do exactly what I did, and that was incorrect.
And that's
so who
different.
was in charge of the book?
For sure.
That's different.
That's different. Yeah, that's a different situation. Because at that point, I did my part.
Now I'd be like, okay, so do you want me to double check or no? Okay, then. What do you want? It's either the client gets dropped off at the wrong
your
address.
sources not up to date.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'm with you on that one. I don't have no argument there. Long story short, like if I could read the people's minds, it will give me more grace for the people. That's it.
I just want the Cliff Noted version. Just let me know what the intention is. That's it. I don't need every thought.
Winter just wants to make sure if we have that ability, she needs to have controls of her ability.
No, don't even give me controls. I don't want to know the excess information. Just let me know what the intention is. That's it.
Oh my God. Okay, to reel it back in, I have one more question, and it is regarding something that I feel like I always ask myself this all the time, and it's one of my own conspiracy theories that I wanted to add to the table regarding dreams. Do you guys think that when you guys are dreaming that we are like the world, like we're living in a matrix, like it's like another one of us in another world, that it's like it's us, but we're not living the same life that we're living right now? It's like us, but they're living a whole different life. Like right now, like for example, I'm here, I am 25, about to be 26. I have no kids. I have a certain type of job, but then another version of me is in another world, already has 3 kids.
3 kids is crazy.
Is a teacher and is whatever the case may be. Like, how do you think dreams are? Like, what is the explanation? What is the explanation of dreams? Because I just really want to know. I'm very intrigued.
I'm gonna say no, because if that's the case, Shorty is all over the place. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If that's the case, I am very concerned for her well-being. But I do think that dreams are messages.
Yeah, I don't think dreams are connected to a different universe, matrix, or anything like that. I think dreams are definitely within this current life, and can have some messages to them, because I know for a fact that I've dreamt some things before and they've come true. I do think dreams are real to an extent, depending on the person. But I don't think they're connected to me dreaming means it's me and somewhere else. I feel like a lot of it has to do with the mind not shutting off while you're sleeping. So then you're thinking about whatever you're thinking about and then you're dreaming about it.
So then I have a question. If you think that if dreams are a message, because this is one thing that I have a hard time understanding. I do think that dreams are a message. However, there are plenty of times where I've had a dream that I felt like was a message, but then I wouldn't remember the whole dream. So was it really a message? Because why can't I remember it?
I mean, you don't have to remember the whole dream for it to be messages. You probably remember the part that was the message that you needed to remember.
But then it's like, it doesn't make sense.
Because then you're the type of person to be like, oh, this is what I dreamt of. This is how my life actually is. And let me go with that. No, you probably needed whatever you got from it. And that was that. Like, I feel like dreams are messages, but not all dreams are messages. Like, I feel like it depends. I feel like for me, when I have a dream that feels very real and like I can feel every part of it in like a real, authentic way, I think those are more messages or future telling or whatever it is, compared to me just dreaming about me washing dishes. Like, that's not really nothing. That's just me dreaming about something that I probably should have been doing, but I didn't get to it. So now I'm thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's really, I don't know.
Nah, you're funny. Because there's been times in dreams I be like, I wake up like, did I do that? Or was I dreaming that I did that? I don't know, because what's going on?
You get back to the kitchen and it's still a mess. You did not do anything you just did in your dream.
I swear. Or like, even when it comes down to deja vu, like I'll be in a situation where it's like, that was just deja vu, but was it because I dreamt this, or was it because it actually already had happened? I'd be confused.
So deja vu, I feel like is something completely different than dreams. And I feel like a lot of people also connect that to like reincarnation too, depending on the type of deja vu, because they're like, oh, they've had this happen in their a different life and they're remembering it. So I feel like deja vu is just completely different than a message from a dream. Because I feel like anything can really be deja vu. Like us sitting right here talking, I could be like, oh my gosh, this is deja vu. Like I saw this same exact conversation. I saw everything that we're wearing. Like this happened already. I don't know. Deja vu, I feel like is weird. It's just a different, I don't know. It's something magical.
See, I don't know if no, I'm thinking about that. I don't know if I ever related deja vu to like dreams, but I guess like I never connected the two. I look at them completely separate. But I do definitely agree with the statement that dreams are messages. I do believe kind of touch on what you said, Amani, about you feeling like, well, is it really a message if I don't remember it all? But I do believe in sometimes you may not remember everything like as soon as you wake up or even for the next couple of days. But I do believe that you may be in moments where it's brought back to your remembrance of either a message or it's a feeling or a thought that enters your mind, but you know it's not your own thought. Like it had to have come from somewhere. And sometimes it is a message that was given to you in a dream. It's just brought back to your remembrance because that's when it needed to be activated. But yeah, I definitely do believe that dreams are messages. I feel like I get a lot of my revelations through dreams. And then I'll be in situations, have occurrences where it's just validation of a dream that I had. But deja vu to me, yeah, I never really connected the two. But to me, when I do have those moments of deja vu, it's like, right place, right time. Like that's kind of the thought process I have about deja vu.
Yeah, I agree. I started to take those moments as, oh, I'm on the path that I'm supposed to be on or something like that. Because if I
Right.
can remember me doing that, that's what I'm saying. For me, it's just so like the consciousness is just so interesting. Like that's the place I feel like is the most interesting to me. Like the mind and the brain and being a conscious being is just, I don't know. That's where I'd be like, oh my gosh, there's so much to this. There's so much we don't know about consciousness and things
Right.
like that. Because I feel like it's just so, I don't know, just being able to do things like that is just, I don't know, like that seems
Right.
like the magic. Like, I know when we look at like Disney magic and stuff, we're like physical power and like, oh, I can see the future. And it's like a specific way, like that's so Raven. Like, it's like, I can vividly have a vision. Like, I don't think those are real, but the idea of what they do is connected to things like deja vu. Like, technically, it was like a moment where you had a future or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where my brain connects them to. I'm like, it's magical. It's interesting. It's definitely something that happens to a lot of people. So it has to be real in some way. I just don't think we know what exactly the power is. You know, the power of it is.
I heard one time this theory that was shared, and I know it was on a podcast. I want to say, was it Megan Ashley's podcast? I don't remember if it was the one she has now in totality or if it was when her and B. Simone had a podcast. But it was this theory that she had shared, like, what if this is the case? It was just really interesting, like something to just think about again, like, you know, I guess not really a conspiracy, but a theory nonetheless. She had said, what if, like, before we're born, we are, like, God shows us like a movie kind of, right, of like our life, like shows you everything that's going to happen in your lifetime, yada, yada, yada. And then you are, departed and implanted into your mother's womb, and then you're born and X, Y, and Z. Obviously, you live your life and you have those deja vu moments. She was like, what if those are just glimpses of what God showed you before you were, implanted into your mother's womb? And I was like, oh, that
That
would
you
be like, wow,
remember.
that'd be so cool. Yeah, that like it's like coming back.
You
Like
remember from it.
memories.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. He's like, what if it's like a movie, not literally a movie, but like a movie that he shows you of your whole life. And then when you live your life, you have these moments of deja vu, and it's because you've already seen it. before you were even,
Yeah.
created.
Things
like,
like
oh,
that's
what
so
if that is real?
interesting. Because like
it's just like
we just
something to think
don't
about.
know. Right. Like we don't know at all. But like that's interesting. And thank you for that. Because now I know I'm doing something
because
right.
it's like, I mean, like, I don't know, I don't know if that is real or not, obviously, but it's just like, well, he knew me before I was formed in my mother's womb. So, I mean, he wrote out my plan before I was even created. So who knows? He could have had a movie just ready. Gear it up, press play. I don't know. Just saying.
That's why,
You just
I
never
mean,
know.
I don't know. That's why for me, like, I will say that I'm basically like an omnist because there's certain things in different religions that I truly believe is connected, but also it makes me be like, I don't know. It's just so much. It's just too much. I can't. It's just so much. I don't know. I start going spiraling and thinking about too much, and then I'm like, I gotta stop thinking about all this stuff. I just think about the current state. Right now, I'm eating crackers and cheese.
Facts.
That's where my brain needs to be. I can't be thinking about
Crackers
what
and
if
cheese.
this
That's
and
it.
that because now I'm stressed. Like it's just so interesting because it's like you almost really never really know the truth of anything. Only your own truth is what you got, and like what you create is what you have. Like we don't know anything technically. Like we truly, really don't know anything, but you can create what you do know, and that's really that. It's just interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me. That's why I'm like, I always just like, I just feel like I be just wanting to know what is what and what is not. And it's like when, in the afterlife, do we find out? Because then I'm still going to be like,
baby, I ain't worried about finding out. I'm walking the golden streets. I got my new crown, my new robe, and my new shoes. Okay, I'm living life with the Lord. I ain't got time to be worrying about that.
Like I would be in there like, wait, so when that had happened, when I was 16,
I might have specific questions. Now that I might have some specific questions, but knowing me, I might just let bygones be bygones, baby. Because if I'm here, that mean I did something right. Okay, so we just gonna go ahead and rejoice.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Because then I don't want to ask too many questions, and then God looking at me like, now you're doing too much. Because
no, but yeah, because let's not forget about the Old Testament, baby. Okay,
same God. What'd they say?
Same yesterday, that He is today.
Forever.
Okay,
so let's
let
not
me
forget.
sit it down. Jesus, where you at? I got some questions. Cause I ain't asking Daddy. All right.
I ain't asking Daddy. I ain't asking Daddy. It's crazy.
I'm crying.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like there's definitely a whole bunch of other conspiracy theories that that we didn't touch base on, but it's just will be questions in the air that people would just want to know, and we will never end up knowing. We won't even know if we would know in the afterlife. So at the end of the day, like we said before, they gotta come to an end, and don't let your mind get too boggled up, okay? Like what Dee said, bills need to be paid at the end of the day. Matter of fact, what's today's date?
I paid my bills. My bills
I thought
are
we wasn't
paid.
talking about that. My bills was paid 3 months in advance, okay?
We wasn't, but like I just had to, like I had to make a payment, and it really like hurt me.
Oh,
like,
got it.
It hurt like deep down. It really hurt me. Like I could have did something else with that, but it's okay. It's okay. Well, anyways, we're going to close this episode with just letting you guys know that there is a whole bunch of thoughts that will be running through your head, but let it be that and move on, because we have life to do and to not do. Any closing statements from my other three fellow mates?
Yes. Are we going to the Chris Brown concert?
I know you lying.
Okay, I see one nod. Yeah.
So I know you're already coming down here.
I already am on the pre-sale list, just letting you know.
He's gonna be down here my birthday month. So it's just only right for me to go my birthday month. And it's
I'm
literally
performing in
He's
Atlanta
gonna be everywhere in
Labor Day
August.
weekend. I already tried to get Amani to go, and she's going camping. So, but I want to go to the Atlanta show, and that's my vibe. because I feel like he's
Yeah,
gonna eat it
August
down
30th.
in ATL. And that's
And he's
Labor
only
Day
doing one show
weekend.
here.
No, those are just the dates that are out. I'm pretty sure
Oh, he's gonna release more.
he has no
Okay.
New York shows on those dates that he released. He only have one at MetLife Stadium. There's no way he's only going to be at MetLife Stadium, and he's
Unless
not
he's
going to
pulling-
be in Madison. There's no way he's not going to go to Madison. No way he's
And the
not going to go to
pre-sale,
Barclays.
MetLife isn't even on
There's
there.
just no way. Yeah, East Rutherford is MetLife Stadium.
Yeah. No,
So it is
but
on
that
there.
wasn't on there.
It is on there. East Rutherford, New Jersey. It's on the list, at least from the picture I saw.
Hold on, I might have
Yeah,
to
I
go
just
seen a post
read
that
into
said-
that.
I just seen a post that said, Chris Brown tickets first, Bills after.
Oh,
But I don't mind going-
No,
I
because
don't
it
mind
is
going
on
to see
here,
him a
and
couple
I can still
times.
update my pre-sale reservation. So hold on,
Guys, I'm gonna be in meetings all day that day. I already told
and forget
someone-
the meetings.
girl, I wish, but it's something I gotta take pictures at. So I ain't even gonna be on no device, no laptop. If it was on a laptop, I'll be surfing the web while we meeting, but I can't.
All right, that was my ending statement, just to let everybody else know.
Yeah,
Chris
and our
Brown is going
listeners,
on a
if you
world
guys are going
tour,
to
America tour.
If you guys are going to the Chris Brown concerts, let us know what date you guys are going, and we can talk about that. But other
Yes,
than
because
that,
I'm trying to go to Atlanta show. Like, it's my birthday month. How could I not go see Chris Brown? And he's gonna be near me in my birthday month.
right? So you ain't
Right.
gotta
It is-
travel too much.
I don't care where he's gonna be.
I just
going.
want to go, but everybody knows me. I always go camping on Labor Day weekend every single year. Deke, any closing statements?
Mm-mm. May the Lord be with you.
And with that, I hope you guys have a great day, because you guys should be listening when you guys are getting ready for work or when you're at work on your break. And I hope your day is going good. And if it's not, make it good. Period.
That's right.
I know that's
Love
right. Bye, groupies.
Bye, yo.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Thanks for hanging with us on Group Chat Calling. Ready to make it official? Join the group and be a part of the convo every Wednesday. Hit that follow button so you never miss a call. Catch you next week.